If you really want to sound more natural and fluent when you're speaking English, there's this one little trick that can totally change the game. We're talking about question tags. And today, yeah, we're going to master them together.
See what I just did there? That little "don't you" at the end? That's a question tag. It's not really a question. It's more like a conversational handshake. It's a way to connect with someone, check if they're on the same page, and just keep the conversation rolling. It's a real game changer, isn't it?
So what exactly is a question tag?
Well, it's pretty simple. It's just a tiny little question that you tack on to the end of a statement. We use them all the time, usually to confirm something we think is true, or to kind of nudge the other person to agree with us. Easy enough, right?
Okay, now if you only remember one single thing from our whole chat today, make it this. There is one golden rule that controls almost every question tag out there, and it's all about balance. Let's call it the positive/negative flip.
Here's the first half of that rule. If your main sentence is positive, your little question tag has to be negative. So a positive statement like "Jack is from Spain" gets the negative tag "isn't he." Positive statement, negative tag. It's like they're grammatical magnets that attract their opposite.
And you guessed it, here's the other side of that coin. If your statement is negative, the tag has to flip to positive. So they aren't funny. That's a negative statement. So the tag becomes the positive, are they? Once you see this pattern, you really can't unsee it.
Okay, so we've got the golden rule down. Awesome. But how do we actually build the tag from scratch? Well, it's not guesswork. There's actually a super simple 3-step formula you can use every single time.
Okay, here it is. Step 1, find the helping verb in your sentence. We're talking about words like is, have, can, or do. Step 2, you just flip its charge based on our golden rule. So positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive. And finally, step 3, you just add the subject pronoun. He, she, they, you know the drill. Let's put this formula into action.
So, what happens when there's no obvious helping verb in sight? Take a sentence like, "You play the guitar." For simple present tense sentences like this one, the hidden helping verb is always do. So we grab do, flip it to the negative don't, add our pronoun you, and boom, don't you.
And it's the exact same logic for the past tense. The statement is, they went to the cinema. The secret helping verb for the simple past is always did. So we take did, flip it to negative, didn't, add the pronoun they, and you've got your perfect tag. Didn't they?
And you know what? When you've already got a modal verb like can or should or must right there in the sentence, it gets even easier. Seriously, that is your helping verb. All you do is repeat it in the tag and flip the charge. Mary can speak English becomes can't she? It's as simple as that.
All right, you're doing great. You've got the basics totally down. So, let's add a little twist. Sometimes a sentence can look positive, but it's actually negative, and it's all because of one sneaky little word.
Okay, I want you to take a close look at this next sentence. Read it carefully and think about our golden rule. Is this statement positive or is it negative?
They rarely eat in restaurants. Now that word rarely is the key here. It has a negative meaning, doesn't it? It means they almost never eat in restaurants. So even though you don't see a not or an end, this is absolutely a negative statement.
And because it's a negative statement, what does our golden rule say? The tag has to be positive. They rarely eat in restaurants, do they? So you've got to watch out for these hidden negative words. Words like hardly, never, nobody, and nothing. They automatically make a sentence negative, which means you need a positive tag.
Okay, we're almost there. One last major hurdle. We know we need a pronoun at the end of the tag, right? A he or a she. But what in the world do you do when the subject is a word like everybody or nothing? Which pronoun do you pick then?
Luckily, there are some pretty clear rules for this, so you don't have to guess. For words about people, like everybody or somebody, you always use they. For words about things, like everything or nothing, you use it. This and that also become it, while their plural forms, these and those, become they. And for any sentence starting with there is or there are, well, you just use there again.
You've learned all the big rules, so now let's do a quick-fire round of special cases. These are the weird exceptions and the fixed phrases that you pretty much just have to memorize. Think of them as pro tips that'll make you sound even more like a native speaker.
Let's kick things off with a really strange one. It's for the first-person statement, I am. The tag for this one, yeah, it breaks all the normal rules we just learned.
The correct tag is aren't I. I know, it feels so wrong. Logically, you'd think it should be amped I, but that word, it doesn't really exist in standard English. So we say, aren't I? It's one of those weird and wonderful exceptions you just have to accept.
Next up, we have a super simple and really common one. Anytime you start a sentence with let's to suggest something, the tag is always the same.
The tag is always shall we. That's it. No exceptions. Let's get a pizza, shall we? Let's finish this explainer, shall we? It's totally fixed, which honestly makes it incredibly easy to remember. It's a freebie.
And finally, what about commands or requests? You know, sentences where you're telling someone to do something. These are called imperatives.
For a straightforward command like open the door, the most common and safest tag you can use is will you. Now you might also hear won't you or can you, but honestly, will you is a fantastic choice that works almost every time.
And there you have it. From the golden rule all the way to hidden negatives and those tricky special cases. I know it might seem like a lot at first, but with just a little practice, this will all become second nature. So go on, get out there and start using them in your conversations. It's a tiny change that makes a huge difference, isn't it?